what's up? I guess you could say that it is officially fall, and I wanted to share with you guys one of the recipes that I've put up on my Instagram story a couple of different times and that I'm absolutely in love with. I made this banana bread recipe because I was searching online and I was having a really hard time finding a healthy bread recipe. I found a lot of recipes that are healthy, but they taste healthy. I'm not interested in eating foods, especially baked goods that are supposed to taste amazing and make them taste like a salad. So I went on my own banana bread recipe adventure and I started going through different recipes and just finding things that I really liked and what tasted really good. And I finally got what I think is a master banana bread recipe. The biggest thing about this banana bread recipe that I love is that it's actually gluten-free, and it's really hard to make gluten-free breads because the consistency is usually a little different. And the consistency of my bread definitely is different, but it doesn't bother me. Just know that when you do make this banana bread that it is not going to be like a typical bread. I like to say it's a little bit more of a mixture between like a pastry brownie bread. So it's very moist, it's very soft, but it's not really bready. Also, what's great about this banana bread recipe is that there is no butter. So I took out all of the fats, not because I don't want them, but typically because they add a lot of calories. And the last thing that's really amazing about this banana bread recipe is that it's really low in refined sugars. So overall, this recipe tastes good, it has really good ingredients, and it's guilt-free. So I don't think that you could get any better when it comes to a banana bread recipe, and I think it's a great way to kickstart autumn. Before we start, I want to let you guys know one thing. Since this is a gluten-free bread, I want to let you guys know that the consistency of this bread is going to be different. You may have to make it a couple of times to see how long you need to cook it. Alright guys, first I want to go through all of the different ingredients that I'm going to be using and a couple of alternatives that you can try, and then we will get to baking. So first you're going to need 3 bananas, and the darker the better for your bananas. You want them to be super ripe. 2 eggs, brown sugar, vanilla, cinnamon. So I'm going to be using the organic protein powder. It is plant-based, vegan, soy-free, gluten-free, and non-GMO. I'm going to be using creamy chocolate fudge, semi-sweet chocolate chips. I'm going to be using this wholesome organic zero erythritol. I think it's really amazing. I've always loved this sweetener. I use it in pretty much everything. Baking soda, this coconut flour. I've tried a gluten-free flour, I've tried almond flour, and I've tried a different brand of coconut flour. This has been my best result. Greek yogurt and unsweetened applesauce. Alright guys, so now we can start the cooking process. I have already turned my oven on to 350 so that it can warm up while I'm doing all of this. So first you're going to do 1/2 cup of applesauce and 1/2 cup of the erythritol. And then I just use a fork and I just mix it together. And 1/2 cup of your brown sugar. Next, we're gonna add just a tiny bit of vanilla. I just eyeball this, but you could probably do about 1/2 of a teaspoon. And then you're gonna add your eggs one at a time. You're gonna add in your baking soda, your flour, and your salt. For your baking soda, I always eyeball this, but I would say I probably use around 1/2 of a teaspoon. I only do a little bit of salt. And then you're gonna do your coconut flour and your protein powder. I'm gonna use a really full 1/2 cup of the coconut flour, and then I'm going to use a full cup of the protein powder. And then I'm going to mix all of this together, but really make sure that you do not over mix your flour and your protein powder with your liquids. So as you guys see, I'm not over mixing this. I'm literally just blending it together. All right, and this is what it looks like once I have not over mixed with all of my flour. Just gonna take this bowl and put it aside for a minute, and then get a little bowl, and you're gonna do your Greek yogurt and your bananas. So first, I'm going to smash up my 3 bananas. And now I'm going to put in 1/2 cup of Greek yogurt. So this is what it looks like, all of our bananas and Greek yogurt. And I'm going to grab my other bowl, put this inside, and then like I did for the bananas and Greek yogurt, I'm going to fold everything together. So again, don't over mix anything, just lightly mix it. Once it's completely combined, stop mixing. Just so you guys can see what it looks like, it is looking really good. It's super chunky. The consistency is pretty thick. All right guys, so now we are just gonna add in our cinnamon and chocolate chips, which are the last two ingredients of this entire recipe. And as far as the amount of cinnamon that I put in, I don't wanna give you guys a ballpark because this is all about taste. It depends if you like cinnamon. I really like cinnamon, so I put quite a bit in. What you should do is just put some cinnamon in, taste it, and then add as you like it. So before I mix, I wanna show you guys how much I put in so far. I would say that I probably put in there maybe 2 teaspoons. I love it. What I just put in was the perfect amount. I think the flavor is on point and it tastes really, really good. If you guys could only taste this, it is so delicious. Okay guys, our last ingredient is the chocolate chips. I say that let's start with half cup and I'm gonna see how that looks and I will let you know if I add more. The half cup of chocolate chips was perfect, so I'm gonna leave it at that. So I just greased my little bread pan with olive oil and I'm going to just pack it inside of there. And voila, that is what it looks like once it's inside the pan. I have my oven at 350 and I'm going to stick it in for about 60 minutes and then I'm going to check it.